Hi everyone, I am back today with my July design team project for the Graphics Fairy. And this month I have created this little boho style traveler's notebook junk journal. I've seen a lot of boho style projects in the junk journal community over the last little while, and so I really wanted to share with you a wonderful bundle that has some papers and items in it that are perfect for these types of projects. So this is what I've created. I have used papers from the Antique India Patterns bundle, and I've printed the cover. I've printed onto some photo paper actually to make sure that the colors were really rich and sharp, and I think it's turned out really well. So I printed one of the papers here, and then I've added some coordinating fabric to the spine here. And I did that using some double-sided adhesive sheets that I've actually had in my stash for quite a while, and I've just never used. And I used that because when I attached this, I wanted to make sure you couldn't see any glue through the fabric, which you sometimes can, you know, depending on what type of glue you use. And I wanted to make sure it was fully covered so it would stick really well. And this has been wonderful. So if you're trying to do a project like that, strongly recommend these adhesive sheets. They've worked beautifully for this project. And then the closure on this is just a little bit of narrow ribbon with a little bit of a gold edge on it, and it's just a simple closure here. So as with most of my projects, I've got lots of interest here on the sides, lots of tabs and little kind of dangly things. So let me show you what I've done here. On the inside, this is another of the beautiful papers in this bundle. You really need to check this bundle out. It is, the patterns and the colors are just absolutely stunning. Then I've just added a few different vintage papers as well, and lots of different tabs and so on, as I mentioned. So this is one of the domino images. So it comes with you know, not only these papers, and you can see how beautiful they are, but it also comes with some washi strips. So I don't know if you can see that. I printed this on vellum, but it comes with washi strips, so various sizes of washi. These are the narrow ones. It comes with a medium width and then a wider width as well. But then it also comes with these domino images, and that's what I've used here. I've just used a punch to punch out a tab from one of these domino images. So these are really versatile. You can use them for layering embellishments in your projects. You can use these images. So just a great sheet to add. So that's how I've created that, and then a little bit of washi tape here. This image is from the new Garden Party bundle, and I've just added a little bit of tape here. I've attached it as a little pocket, and then I've got this vintage French receipt in there. I've added a little gold tab and a little bit of floral trim there. One of the papers from the bundle. I mean, it's just beautiful, this purple, and you can see all of this bits of distressing in it. They're just stunning. And there's different colorways. So there's one that's purple, similar pattern, but a little bit lighter. The same with the pink, the same with the turquoise. So lots of options there. Lots of trims I've added here. An envelope. I've added a little fabric tag here that I've made, using some of the fabric that I used on the spine. I've added throughout a few of these kind of vintage images that I thought went nicely with the theme of this project. And then this great vintage receipt, paper boxes and a ribbon paper receipt. I thought this was look great, from 1912. And then I have added on the other side here, this is printed on vellum, and this is actually this hanky. You can see how sheer it is. I scanned that on my computer, and then I have just printed that out on vellum, and I thought it went really nicely in this. The colors were perfect. On this side, so again, here's another one of the papers. Love this one. The turquoises are beautiful in this. And then another of my floating pockets that I like to do with various trims and a little tag in here. Their vintage receipt here. And some ledger paper. This is a vintage envelope, and with this, you'll see as we come up to this, throughout I have used some trims. Sorry, I'm just searching for the other side of it. You'll see I've used some trims throughout. This is a die cut, I think it's called the Crochet Die-Cut from Tim Holtz from Sizzix. And the other, so the other side of this is this image, so it fits like this when you die cut it. And as I was just kind of looking at this, I realized that these were some really pretty different shapes that could be used as well as the original die cut. So you'll see that I've used those opposite images or opposite cuts as well throughout this project. So this, as I mentioned, is a vintage envelope. I've left it open at the top here and just added a little bit of trim, backed it on the other side. This is some coffee dyed vintage pink tracing paper. Little pocket here. You can see one of these crochet die cuts I've used at the top here. Another vintage image here, and then a vintage, actually it's a love letter from 1953. So the letter is in the envelope as well. A few ruffles. I've used the same paper for this pocket that I used on the front cover. Another of the die cuts here. A little bit of trim. This is a vintage envelope. I've got a little tab here that I cut out from that domino sheet that I showed you. And then this vintage advertisement that I've added. The color was perfect for this. Another, so you can see here, another of the beautiful papers in this bundle. And here you can see that I've used this opposite side of that die cut that I used on this page. That's here. And you could, I mean, you could really decorate this. You could add little sequins and ribbons or flowers to that. It's really a great image to use. Little tab here with some decoration. Here I have a little tassel, beaded tassel that I've put onto a paper clip to clip in this image from the yellow and pink botanicals bundle. And then here a pocket with a little bit of trim, and I've added another die cut tab here to this embossed tag. More of the offcuts from the dies here at the top. And in the center, I've left it very simple. I've just added some of those dies to the side. Little top tuck here. I've got a few vintage images here. This is a vintage French receipt, and then a couple of journaling cards here. This is a vintage postcard from 1911. So that's there, and then this is a vintage receipt as well. And another of the beautiful papers, so you can see that that is the opposite color way to the front paper. I love this as well. Another tab that I've added a bit of trim to. Another fabric pocket, And in here I've used some of the paper to make a tag with another die-cut tab. Another French receipt. Oh, actually it's an invitation, and that's from 1928. And then this is a little vellum pocket that I just sewed up, and I've got a little embossed kind of sparkle paper here, made a tag and added a little bit of trim. This is the other part of that envelope that you saw further up, and another vintage image here. I've just added a little tab there. Little fabric ruffle. In this pocket I've got another little tag that I've made embossed, another little image that I've added to a die-cut frame for journaling, and just another floral image there. Here I've added another of the die cuts to the side of the tracing paper. Little perfume label here with a little rusty paper clip and a bead dangle, and that's the other part of that vintage envelope. And on this little ruffle I have just a little pin that I've added a few different charms to. And in this pocket I have another little vintage French, I guess it's a letter. I've added that, and then I've added this vintage image to this, just this little booklet that I've made for extra journaling room. Added that, and you can see here again I've used some of the offcuts from that die. And this is the back. So this is just a wonderful bundle to use. This Antique India Patterns bundle. If you're doing any of the boho projects, please check this out. It really is just beautiful. I haven't shown all of the papers, but they are just as beautiful as this. Really rich, deep, kind of vibrant colors that will look beautiful in your projects. So thanks for joining me, and I will be back next month with another project.